Hey guys, welcome to an all-new episode of From Real to Wheel. I'm here with Obscure Media.
What an awful movie.
It was not an awful movie. We saw Rambo Last Blood, and
I thought you just said we didn't see an awful movie.
So, as usual, we're going to keep this... Who are you waving to?
The audience.
I was like, is there someone out there you know? How dare you? This is my video.
Yeah.
As usual, we're going to keep it spoiler-free until I get to that part of the video. So the first half is going to be spoiler-free. The second half, we're going to have tons of spoilers.
So right now we talk about spoilers, and later we talk about no spoilers.
But before we get into it, make sure to comment on, like, and share this video, as well as hit the notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will go a long way. The links to those two sites will be in the description below, and as always, subscribe. Alright, let's get into this. Okay, so yeah, we got out of seeing Rambo Last Blood, and
I had milk in my pants.
Yeah, tell the story.
I wanted to sneak a cheaper drink in, so I put like protein powder milk inside my pants.
And the Darwin Award goes to?
And all the men in the theater were very jealous of me.
Oh yeah, and the old ladies were fainting.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, my husband have that?
Because, yeah.
Alright, so what did you think of Rambo Last Blood?
Awful.
Awful? Like how bad?
Did someone even write that movie, or was it just put through a machine of Taken remake?
I know, it did seem a lot like it was Taken. I haven't seen Taken, but I know the story structure, and it sounded just like it when I was getting into it.
It was literally like even the pacing. It was a Taken movie. It really was.
Just R-rated.
Yeah.
Which, that was a good thing about that we can both agree on. The gore and the violence was incredible.
They both star super old white men doing action movies, and they have the exact same story and pacing. Except this one was better action, I thought.
Yeah, this was... The story of this one was that Rambo, he's settled down. We don't see his father at all, or any mention. Maybe the grave...
That's another reason I was kind of disappointed by it.
Yeah, there was a grave, but it didn't say or show who it was. And I was like, so...
I guess it... Yeah, spoilers later.
Yeah, spoilers are later. But, the story follows Rambo, and he has a niece, and, I think it's a maid or something?
I think it's her aunt.
Maybe her aunt,
I think so.
And the niece wants to know what happened to her father, like why he left her when she was a kid, and so she goes to Mexico and tries to find answers, and then all trouble happens, and Rambo has to save the day. But is it too late? We'll find out in the spoiler section. So I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't like god awful. I've seen much worse movies than this.
6 out of 10.
That's like a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
You're like, it's an awful movie. 3 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Too late now. Oh, by the way, Obscure Media didn't want to have his face in the video, so that's why he's off to the side.
Face.
So don't be complaining in the comment section. He's not in frame. I bet some people are going to say that now.
I'm in a different frame.
He's in a different dimension.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the story was straightforward enough. Like, it didn't feel like a Rambo movie.
No, that's like, I hated that so much about it. I hated that.
We were joking on the way up here. Oh, we're going to see Rambo run, and he's in his 70s. He only ran for maybe 5 seconds.
Yeah, and you can tell, like, it was either a stunt double or Stallone, like, almost died.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to watch at parts. Not just with the violence, but I thought he did a good performance, too. It wasn't like it was...
I mean, I think it's hard for Stallone to do badly in a movie.
I mean, you either love him or you hate him.
Yeah.
But one part near the end, I heard audience members clapping. You know, what about the audience member that saw us before the movie? He's like, and then we were...
That's not Joker!
Yeah, he's like, I don't see him as Joker. And the Joker trailer was playing. I was like, what a bro. What a dude, bro. This is not my Joker.
There's so many people after
Joker.
Christopher Nolan trailer Christopher Nolan movies were like, no one else could play Joker ever. I'm like, come on, guys.
I mean, then they had Jared Leto, I think.
Yeah, well, he was awful, so.
Yeah, I don't watch superhero movies, or stuff like that.
I don't either, but like, he was awful.
Wanna see my scars?
I'm smiling. Oh yeah, Rambo.
Oh yeah, Rambo. I thought the bad guys were pretty good. I don't know the actors' names, but they were intimidating enough. But I felt they could have been pushing the mean side of them a little bit more. Like these are sex traffickers, and these are drug users and drug sellers, and they were just kind of.
What are you saying about marijuana users?
No. I'm saying that they didn't say anything that hasn't been said before.
No, I feel the same way. Yeah.
They could have and your too, or I'll try to.
It was very, 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 very times 12 cliched.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could have pushed the profanity and vile language a little bit harder if they really wanted to drive home that these were mean.
Hey, use some language they could have said.
Mean hellholes.
Yeah.
Because hell's not a swear.
Yeah, very. I thought the whole movie was literally cliche. The movie.
Yeah, it had some okay parts. I mean, like,
I think before spoilers, the only reason you should go watch this is for the action scenes and nothing else.
Because then when that happened, it felt totally like Rambo.
It clicked in my head when he was doing anything physically like killing people. Like that's the only parts where I felt like, hey, I'm watching John Rambo.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part, it's in the trailers kinda, where he gets his ass kicked, and it's like, I mean, I just don't see Rambo being that stupid going into a place like with just a pistol.
Like, yeah, why?
He had a pistol and knife, and that was it. And he went to this huge like drug cartel area, and he gets his ass kicked, obviously. But like, I don't understand why he was that dumb to do that.
No, same. Like, I was thinking that at that part, I was like, okay, really, you?
He like expected to get his daughter back, just by asking.
You were a Medal of Honor, like. You were awarded the Medal of Honor. You were like a Vietnam War hero, and like
I could have seen
you do that.
I could have seen like, oh, I should have thought about this through more. But he didn't say anything. Just like
then, what's funny? Are we in spoiler territory?
Well, actually, first up, what would you give it out of 5 or 10, or whatever you want to rate it as? You already said 6.
Out of 10,
yeah,
I would say between a 5 and a 6.
So like a 2.5 or a 3.
I would say
I'd say like a 3.
Uh-huh.
It's about as good as Rambo First Blood Part 2 because I felt that Rambo First Blood Part 2 didn't feel like a sequel to First Blood, and Rambo 3 felt more like a realistic take on Rambo. Rambo 4 felt like a more sequel to First Blood. This was in that same league where it didn't feel like a Rambo movie, or no, it didn't feel like a First Blood movie, but it felt real, like Rambo 3. Like, he does get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we can get into spoilers.
Well, I want to go back to what you said. During the entire movie, I felt in my head, okay, Rambo 4 is what First Blood people want, and this movie is what Rambo 2 and 3 people want.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I saw the movie while we were watching it. I was like,
it felt...
yeah, this is the more...
fan servicey.
Yeah, like, not even fan service, because I'm going to go on a huge tangent about that in a little bit.
Okay.
But, like, very, like, oh, Rambo, he's an action hero and nothing else. Like, and that's what part 2 and 3 felt like. So mainly part 2. So
yeah,
it's more of a part 2 in that vein. And I was kind of disappointed in that. I was hoping they would. The trailers kind of led me to believe, oh, this is going to be kind of a cheap, just action film.
The first teaser was awesome, but then the second trailer was...
The second ones, yeah, you could kind of tell what they were going for.
Yeah, like, they had This Old Town song, or whatever it was. They had Lizzie McGuire's dad. Not Lizzie McGuire. Miley Cyrus's dad.
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus in the song. It was a rap song. It was actually fit the trailer really well, I thought.
Yeah, surprisingly.
But the whole thing that pretty much drives the cartel to go find Rambo is that he cuts off one of their heads.
And I liked that.
That was a pretty good touch.
Like, I loved how they didn't show what he was gonna do.
Yeah, like
And then you see the aftermath and
yeah,
the
like
next scene.
yeah, like he goes to his house and he takes out all the bodyguards, no problem. And then the main bad guy's just in the shower.
I love, like, he just gets an angry face, walks to the shower, then next scene, and it builds up to what he did, and I loved that.
I think if it really wanted to go insane, he should have cut his dick and balls off too.
I mean, maybe.
Like show it happen. Not like here right in front of you, but like just whoosh, cut, and then maybe cut to his head being cut off.
Maybe.
Like it just.
Well, hey, you'd have both heads cut off. Fan servicey stuff. I thought 4 was literally like the perfect ending that the series could have had. Even though I would like to see a continuation, I think 4 was like the perfect end. And I'm not going to be one of those guys who's like, oh, they should never make a sequel after the perfect ending. Like, I think it's okay to like, I wouldn't be opposed to a continuation. I like seeing like more of a character and franchise I enjoy. But this is not how you continue Rambo 4. This is not how you do it.
No.
Like,
and just to get off topic a little bit, Rambo tweeted, I'd love to star in another one. That just told everyone that you're not going to die in this movie.
Kind of.
I was like, really? Really? You're going to tell?
Maybe a prequel.
Yeah, prequel. Mini Rambo or Rambo Jr. Rainbow.
Well, hey, there was that trailer of that Will Smith movie where they made him look young again. So
Gemini Man.
So I guess they could do the same with Stallone to do a prequel.
No.
Give him makeup like Will Smith.
But Will Smith is not 70. He's like 40s, I think, or 50.
Close enough.
It was 20 years.
Yeah. What were you saying again?
That was it. About the tweet thing.
Oh, tweet thing, yeah. So, yeah, this is not how you do a sequel. Like, they made a big deal about his dad in the 4th one. Like, oh, I'm going to go see my dad. And she's like, why don't you see your dad, John? Yeah. And then he goes back to his dad in the end of the 4th movie, and we don't see him, which was, like, again, perfect ending. But
yeah,
the original scripts that you and I know, where he was just going to get back inside his house and find his dad dead, and, like, it was the cartel who did it, that would be, like, the genius. Like, that's, like, literally the only way they could continue it, I think. Like,
what they did was they took out the father and put a niece in there, and she gets killed, which was surprising. I actually wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. I didn't expect that either. I thought she was going to, like, come back for a second, but then no, she actually died.
Yeah, of, like, drug overdoses and abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
It did suck.
It did suck.
Yeah.
But I don't think it needed to happen. Like, she could have just gone off with the aunt when he goes to war, but then we wouldn't have a climax.
Yeah, and it was a good climax.
Yeah, because then they wouldn't have needed to screw with him anymore.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, it's... Oh, yeah, I want to go on a tangent about the dad scene. Like, that actually made me angry when we were watching the movie.
The dad scene?
Yeah, where she's talking to her dad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go to that. Basically, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, if they wanted her to mean something to him, they didn't really do it well. Because, like, you don't see a good connection between them. It's just... the audience is just told that there's a good connection. Like, yeah, we're kind of related. I love you, dear. Like, we're not, like, shown... And, like, I don't know. Riding horseback with her wasn't charming enough.
It wasn't enough.
Using the tunnel thing was kind of weird. Like, a teenager would think that's kind of... Like, her friends would think that's kind of creepy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know what they were trying to do. Make them have that connection to make us care about her more and to make us see the connection he had with her more. But, like... That's not, like, a very relatable thing. No. Because, like, if you were on...
Oh, that dad. I thought you were talking about, like, when she met up with her father.
Oh, I am going to talk about that. I'm, like, leading into that.
Okay.
The idea of, like, if you or I, or any of you listeners, were told by your uncle, like, oh, you guys can use my creepy blacksmith tunnel to party, and, like, I don't know. I just... It tried to be heartfelt, but it was... Like, it couldn't possibly be heartfelt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe back in the 80s and 90s, kids would think it would be cool, but...
Yeah, nowadays, like, I don't know, people that age would just think it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like a bomb shelter pretty much.
Yeah, he was in like a survival shelter, like nuclear bunker.
And then he blows it up, which made no sense.
I think it did. I mean, that was actually something I liked because it was subtle. It was like, oh, they're his tunnels. He loves his tunnels, but he's like willing to destroy them for
her.
Yeah, like I thought that was like they didn't make a big deal about that. That might have not even been an intentional thing, but it went through my head in the movie.
I mean, I felt like she should have blown up the house, not his tunnels. Because
I'm surprised
he spent more time in the house with her than he did in the tunnels.
I suppose, yeah, and I'm actually shocked they didn't use the house more.
Yeah, they only used it for like 1 or 2 kills.
Yeah,
there's like a whole bunch at the end.
Mm-hmm. But father stuff again.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the connection he had, I didn't think was strong enough. I think if it was his dad, there would just naturally be that more big connection. Like, he would have had regret, like, oh, why didn't I come home sooner? Like the people in Burma told me to. You know what I mean? Like, if I had gone home sooner, maybe I could have protected my dad and shit. Like,
yeah,
that could have been a good, more motivation. And imagine that opening. Like, you end Rambo 4, then you open up. He opens up the door. His dad, who everyone wanted him to reunite with, is just, head blown off or something.
Yeah,
it would have been stronger. And now, the niece's dad. Who the hell wrote that scene and thought it was good? Like, what? She talks to him and he's like happy. He's like, oh, I haven't seen you in years. And then he's like, I hated your mother. I hated you, and then your mother died. Now get out of here. Like, what? Where did that come from? It's like, oh, hi, Brian. Get the out of my car. Like, who sat there and wrote that? Who filmed that and said it was okay? Who edited that and said it was okay? Who directed that and said it was okay?
That reminds me, this wasn't directed by Sylvester Stallone like the last one, and it really like shows.
Danny something?
No, Andre something.
Andre something.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you can really tell.
Yeah.
But like, what was that 180 personality switch thing?
Because she asked him a question.
But like,
it's not enough to make it switch. I kind of felt like he should have come back later and redeemed himself.
I thought, yeah, same. I wished either he should have been in the movie more. I thought, like, it would have been a good idea.
What?
And in my head through this entire movie, I thought it could have used a rewrite. What if he teamed up with Johnny because he felt bad for the daughter dying?
Oh, speaking of wasted potential, what about that reporter chick?
Who wrote this movie? I'll let you talk for a little bit because I went on a huge tangent.
All right, yeah, so this reporter is trying to help John, keyword help, but she shows him support and things happen because of her, but we don't see her do anything. She just appears, helps him, then says some stuff that she's gonna, and then you never see her do it, but it magically happens.
I get so annoyed by bad writing like this.
Yeah, it was pretty badly written in some parts. But in the action department, the gore, holy shit. Let's get on a positive note for a minute. Like, the scene in the tunnels is just insane. Like, I love that he doesn't just kill somebody. Like, they're already done. He shoots them up some more because he's so angry.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch.
Legit.
Like, some people fell on spikes. They were totally dead, but he shot them a whole bunch more times just to make sure that he got his rage through.
Yeah. That was honestly like a very good part of it.
Yeah.
Of the movie. And something a very, very subtle, I guess you couldn't call it a subplot, but a very subtle thing. You can tell, like, part of the point of the movie is to show that he's just naturally bound to be violent forever.
Yeah. Like
the part where he throws his pills away and then he's just unhinged the rest of the movie. Like, I thought the pacing of that was okay. Like, oh, I'm angry, I'm going to throw my pills away. Then the rest of the movie, he's just Rambo. Yeah. Like, I thought that was actually pretty well done.
Yeah. And then I felt like the reporter and him were going to kiss in one scene.
It was going through my head, maybe.
I was like, where's the connection, for one? I mean, I guess you have a connection, but it's like a very depressing connection. Why would you ever want to make out with that?
It would have been as bad as, like, part 2 where he gets with that
Korean woman. It's
the
like out of
Vietnamese
nowhere.
girl,
Vietnamese, yeah, and it's out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Technically,
like,
Vietnamese.
It would have been as bad as that romance.
And then she just gets shot down.
Yep.
Right after. I don't know. I mean, I think that it could have been a lot better written.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the action in the beginning was a little rough to watch, but after that it was pretty smooth.
You mean like it was hard to watch and it was really violent, or
No,
like,
shaky cam.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of shaky cam.
At first, yeah, but then the final act, it was more.
It felt like a normal old school kind of action movie.
It was more quick cut. It was like boom, blood cut, boom, blood.
I thought
cut.
the sound design was pretty good.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that too. The tunnels had a great sound design.
Yeah, every time he shot,
they like echoed.
And we saw this in, what was it, the IMAX?
We saw this in Infinity X Plus with the recliners.
And the sound design definitely, like, it did its work on that system.
Yeah, you could feel your chair shaking and everything.
Yeah.
It was effective. And like when he sets the not the charge. Is it a charge when they drive over it? Or landmine.
Yeah.
And he blows up.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and then you felt your whole chair just go, ah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish it took out more cars. It took like one car.
Yeah, only one car.
But at the same time, there's only like 10 cars. They should have, if they kept on saying they have so much men, they have so many men, and he takes them out in like 10 minutes.
I mean, like, that's good and bad, because, like, of course, Rambo would take them out in like 10 minutes, but, like, also, I mean, like, action's like short, I guess.
Yeah, like they have an hour of build up.
And, like, half hour of action.
No, not even like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, like if you combine all the action scenes in the movie, you'd probably get like 25 minutes.
Maybe even less than 20.
It ended so abruptly. Did it feel more like a fan movie to you at parts?
It kinda did.
Like, you know those YouTube fan movies with amazing effects?
Yeah.
That don't really understand the source material perfectly?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this was one of those.
But there are fan films that do understand the source material.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking all fan movies. I just mean like some.
This was okay. Like, I don't think it's the worst movie ever, and I think it's one of the worst Rambo movies, but that's speaking out of 5 movies. That's not a ton of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Especially over like 30, 40 years.
Legit.
But it could have been a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have also been a lot worse.
It's just the writing was so rough.
It was. They needed to do a few more rewrites.
They really did. Like, can I go more on the writing for a bit before we end this?
Yeah, sure.
I was telling you on the way out of the theater, the globe trotting.
Oh, yeah.
That could have been cut down so much. Like,
they could have been re-edited too.
Yeah, so he goes to Mexico, finds her, brings her back to America while she's dead.
No. He goes to she goes to Mexico. It cuts back to the ranch.
Well, yeah.
Then he goes to Mexico, cuts back to the ranch. Then it cuts back to Mexico. Then it cuts back to the ranch.
Yeah.
It's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
I don't mind the part of her going to Mexico because, like, that's ideal for the plot.
Yeah,
I'm more
saying,
like specifically just John going between the two. Here's how it could have been cut down.
That's still like 5 scenes.
Oh yeah, but like, so she goes to Mexico, fine. He goes to Mexico, fine. She dies while he's bringing her home, but he still goes home.
Mm-hmm.
So back to America. Then he goes back to Mexico to do a few things. Then he goes back to America. Here's what the way it happened.
Are you seeing how it actually happened? Or are you gonna
I'm gonna say how it should have been happening.
Oh, okay.
So going by the things he went back to Mexico for, that could have happened without him leaving Mexico at all in terms of what the script was. So
sorry. Actually, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say. If you have anything different, then I'll mention it.
She should have died while he was still in Mexico when she died. Like, remember, he drove through the border at that part. When she died, he should have turned back and talked to the reporter and then busted the sex trafficker's house. And then he goes back to America and the movie continues. That's what should have happened.
So, like, you're saying that she should have gone to Mexico, then he should have followed, then she dies in Mexico.
He stays in Mexico and then goes back to America after he beheads the...
Yeah, that would cut out, like, a couple scenes worth.
It would have made more sense, because, like, it's kind of...
But it would have been shorter, too.
Not necessarily, because, like...
You could have extended some things, yeah.
The scenes could have been rearranged to fit the thing I'm saying and still have the same runtime. Because, like, he should have just stayed in Mexico to talk to the reporter and then kill the guy, then go back to America and tell the aunt or maid to go to her sister's house because he's ready to... I just think, like, the film would have flowed so much better if
there was There's a lot of problems with flowing, pacing, and editing.
It almost felt like the editor put the scenes in the wrong place. It almost felt like that to me.
They were like on the cutting room floor, but I was like, no, we need this to pad out the runtime.
Yeah, it really did feel like that. And they could have kept the same runtime, just rearranged the scenes, and it would have flowed better.
Or combined some of them.
Yeah, and you mentioned this. Why did they get the reporter back in the story after she helped him?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what'd she do?
Yeah, like, her helping him after he gets his ass beat, that's fine enough. We don't need any more of her.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to cut the character because that's how he gets out of there and survives. Like, that's fine. Keep her, sure. But he goes back on his way back to Mexico and he asks her for help. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't show up in the movie again.
No, she doesn't.
Like, how brain dead do you have to be as a writer? How brain dead do you have to be as anybody working on this film to, like, not notice anything wrong with that? Because, like, I assumed he was going to use her as a reporter to somehow let the sex traffickers know that he did it.
She was acting suspicious when she was first arrived on screen. And then she's like, oh, I'm helping you. I know. At the same time, I'm like, why are you helping him? She said that she would do it for anybody, but then
we find out that daughter.
Yeah, but
sister.
Still, you got to wonder how many people actually went back for their daughters or loved ones.
Yeah.
And does she help them all? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it is a little goofy.
Yeah, like, it's lucky as hell that she saw Rambo when she did.
Honestly?
She's like at the right place at the right time for story's sake.
Yeah. I kind of want to get a rip of the movie and re-edit it the way it should have been. I kind of want to do that for my own pleasure.
And then burn on it. It's kind of like, hey, I got the right copy.
Hey, this is the real copy of Last Blood.
So do you have anything else you wanted to say about the movie?
I don't think it understood the franchise.
Yeah.
It did not understand. It felt like a standard action movie with the Rambo name to get more tickets sold, you know?
Yeah, it felt like Rambo First Blood Part 2 wasn't like First Blood. It was its own movie. So this felt like it was like that.
It really did. Like, they did not understand how to make it. They didn't understand
the source, the heart, the meaning.
Yeah, because, like, even Part 2 and 3, as much as they deviate from First Blood and what the character was and stuff, they still kind of felt like they would be in the same story and same series. They did.
And plus, at least this had PTSD flashbacks. Rambo 2
I was very proud of them for that.
Yeah, Rambo 2 and 3 didn't have that.
And I liked the way Stallone sold it.
Yeah, he looked like he was kind of just, whoa,
he had the 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was actually really effective. I was like, oh, good job, Sly.
Yeah, like in the opening when he's looking down the tunnel, he has those flashbacks. I didn't get that. Like, he's been in those tunnels for years, and all of a sudden he has this flashback for the audience sake.
It is kind of weird.
Like, it's establishing that, oh, he still gets flashbacks. Then why the hell is he still going down the tunnels for?
Yeah, right?
Did you have anything else you wanted to say about it?
I think we've aired out everything.
That's it for Rambo Last Blood. Any last thoughts? Would you go see it in theaters? Or would you recommend it for people to go see in theaters?
If you want a good story or a good First Blood, like, series follow-up, don't watch it. But if you want action and Stallone, you're going to have a decently fun time.
Yeah, if you want Rambo 2 and 3 again, here you go.
Yeah, I agree with that statement completely.
Yeah.
It was too short, I thought. I thought they could have definitely made it longer.
Yeah. So I'm going to end it here, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm. Subscribe.
Make sure to comment on, like, and share this video, as well as hit the notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will go a long way. The links to those two sites will be in the description below, and as always, subscribe.